Hello, 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 and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the first audio experience on the web today, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J. Alongside the returning, the reigning, the defending, the conquering leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yas.
Not even death itself can stop me from saying that squash is indeed a fucking vegetable.
And the American Scooter Dust.
Remember, it takes guts to be an organ donor.
I don't think they want mine. Mine are fucked up.
Well, it was either that or, organ donation takes a lot out of you.
All of these things are true. Before we get into everything and putting ourselves over in the news and the previews and the reviews, I would be remiss to say that it was not a great day for America, wrestling, anything really. Obviously, everything that happened in Texas, and our thoughts and prayers are with the families, and hopefully everything could be, something good could come out of this tragedy.
I think that's all we can say at this point.
Yeah. Again, thoughts and prayers with all the families and friends of the victims. Alright, this last week we interviewed Braden Lee, Trouble Free, and it was definitely over a year in the making to get Braden on the show, and he didn't disappoint. It was a great interview with a great individual. And here's to Braden and seeing what he's got coming up, right, Scooter?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was absolutely worth it, and dare I say more.
Absolutely. This upcoming Wednesday, we got the one, Sean Moore. And that's the one you don't want to
miss.
Haven't had an interview like this in quite some time, no, Scooter?
Oh, man, we thought that it may, James and I thought that this was going to compare in time to the Christian Robinson 3 hours. Still haven't broken that record.
I don't think we ever will.
It's important to remember that I was only part of like 45 minutes of that 3 hours, so. But we get into a discussion of a character from Star Wars Rogue One and a character from the Book of Boba Fett. So if you are the nerdiest of nerds who hangs out in your nerdery, you want to hear that interview with Sean Moore.
And of course, there's some anecdotes about pro wrestling in there as well. It is a wrestling podcast. As we try to remember as while doing it. But if you don't believe me, here's a little snippet of that interview right now. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I can't say I have.
And that is the correct answer.
Now, what would have happened if I would have sat there and said, actually, I was in a supermarket in Mexico, and it was the first time I spoke fluent Spanish, and we had a long conversation about Darby Allin in the supermarket.
First, you would have to tell us what was the content of that conversation. And then I would say that is the correct answer. Alright. This upcoming after Sean on June 7th, I believe, which is a Tuesday, I repeat, we're doing a Tuesday interview with Anna Diaz. She has a foundation and upcoming event pertaining to epilepsy awareness that all really go and check out WWO FL on Twitter. Follow
Yes.
Anna Diaz to get more information on that. It's Miss Anna Diaz on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah. And don't treat it. Don't be rude to her, or else Gangrel's gonna come after you.
That's definitely for sure. That Wednesday on the 8th, no rest. We're doing 2 interviews in 1 week for the first time in a long time with Zoe Sager. Zoe Sager, incredible interview. Definitely check out on Wednesday, June 8th. The 15th, American Sumo, Mike Gamble. The 22nd, Jack Tomlinson, the wrestler.
Megapod cheated. My allergies.
I mean, you are the dustiest of them all, aren't you?
Very true. I am the Dusty Dragon.
Alright, let's get into the news. Again, no great day for wrestling. We're just gonna get into everything. Money in the Bank is officially changing venues. It's going from Allegiant Stadium to, I believe, the
MGM Garden Arena.
Yeah.
Basically, for those, how can I put this? For those who might not be familiar with it, it was WCW's go-to arena out on the West Coast, basically. And if you remember Ready to Rumble, that's technically the arena that the final scenes of the movie take place in. But it's not actually to scale. I've actually stayed at the MGM Grand Hotel, in that same where the arena is, and it's very green. It's also much smaller.
Roughly a quarter of the size of Allegiant?
Allegiant, I believe, at its maximum.
Not even a quarter.
Yeah, Allegiant at its maximum was like 76,000. MGM Grand is 17,000, I believe.
And that makes sense. I already knew that was. I knew they weren't going to be able to fill that stadium because the problem, it was a lot of problems in the sense of you're fighting the UFC on the 4th of July weekend, and the 4th of July weekend for the UFC tends to stack their cards mad heavy. Like, it's not even crazy. So those people were going to go anyway. And B, I think the back-to-back for people to go to SummerSlam 3 weeks after going to Money in the Bank, that was a huge ask. Hey, come to Vegas for Money in the Bank. Don't forget, at the end of the month, we got SummerSlam. So, like, economically, that didn't make sense to me.
Right. And, I don't think anybody is actually from Las Vegas, per se. It's a destination city. So, probably more than half of the people are either coming from out of state to see that show, and then you have, like you said, SummerSlam, which is a given. People are going to be coming out from other states, other countries, everything because it's one of the big four.
Yes.
Right. Like when they did SummerSlam last year in Vegas, it was lit because it was the go-to spot. I mean, if they just had a repeat of two of the big four, like, cause everyone seems to like Vegas and New Orleans. If they could do a repeat of those two and maybe flip-flop them in the way to schedule it right, I think it would be money because a lot of people like going to those cities because A, those cities never sleep, and B, you always got something to do after the show.
Do you think that WWE misjudged the popularity of Money in the Bank?
I think they misjudged the fact that they thought they could take the UFC because it was planned on the same night as the UFC. And last year they did it the same night as Pacquiao. But the problem was with last year, Pacquiao's Spence got hurt with an eye, so it was a last minute fill-in, so it didn't do as well. And that could be a factor. They were thinking, hey, we can take the UFC, let's do this big ass stadium again, and that's not going to happen because especially. Hell, Vegas just did EDC, the NFL draft, Lovers and Friends Festival. They've been doing a lot, and a lot of people have been coming out there for those things, and those are once-in-a-lifetime things. And Money in the Bank, as popular as it is in the wrestling circle, it's not a commercial success like SummerSlam or Mania.
Yeah. There's also another factor that has to be taken into account, and that's the fact that anybody who had a ticket for Money in the Bank at Allegiant Stadium is going to get their money refunded, and they will have to attempt to buy tickets again.
What?
They're not being given a priority over. They're not being given the chance to get an equivalent ticket. They are literally essentially restarting ticket sales.
No, it did say online if you did purchase a ticket, you would have the opportunity to purchase another ticket before everybody else did.
But the question is, how fast does that money that they spent on Allegiant Stadium come back to them before they purchase a ticket to Money in the Bank,
Right.
to MGM Garden?
Also, you gotta look at like the people, because it would be crazy if people who bought tickets for the High Five in Jesus is getting an equivalent because the stadium's a hell of a lot smaller, and plus, God knows how many people bought tickets. So it might have been 30,000. So they gotta restart the pool anyway.
Do you think WWE may have jumped the gun on changing the stadium? There was already 16,000 tickets sold, roughly. I mean, if they would have announced who was going to be on the show, a match. I mean, I believe Brock Lesnar was supposed to be on that show. I don't know anymore. But if they would have announced an attraction like a Brock Lesnar match or who Roman is facing, could that have boosted ticket sales enough for them to have been in Allegiant Stadium to have maybe at least 20,000?
No, because the problem is that UFC announces their cards like 6 months in advance.
Right.
So they were already the card that they were going against was already announced, and you know how WWE is not trying to leak shit. So it was a double-edged sword.
Plus, at a certain point, you when it comes to ticket sales, you can predict the trend of where ticket sales will kind of just peter out and just level off. If you picture, just with the example numbers, a 76,000 seat stadium that's already got let's say 10% blocked off for the setup, for the Titantron setup. Okay, so we're down to about a little less than 70,000. When you compare the number of tickets that are sold, 16,000, that's a quarter of the stadium. That's a quarter of the stadium, which means there's going to be a definite seats empty when it goes to air.
It wasn't going to look aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, yes, and eventually they know that there's a minimum. There was a minimum here that they had to meet, and for a stadium, it's usually 51%. And then you take into account the seats they give out,
Right.
as well. So an automatic 10% of the seats given. So at the most, if they stayed in Allegiant, I probably would say probably only about 25,000 at the most.
Right. Well, that being said, do you see them having any issues selling a lot more tickets for SummerSlam or the Cross at the Castle?
Nope.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, because Nashville is also
A wrestling town.
It's
A good destination spot.
and it's a much easier town to access.
Right.
Las Vegas is one of the only cities that's literally in the middle of the freaking desert.
Have you ever been to Arizona?
Yes.
Yeah.
But also Nashville is literally in the South, and a lot more people who probably wouldn't go to Vegas can easily make that 2-3 hour drive from Memphis, Arkansas, Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama. So it's a lot easier in that region to pull.
New developments from WWE. Apparently, Jeff Jarrett has rejoined the company as a high official, something pertaining to live events. Does this maybe have anything to do with Stephanie McMahon leaving? Well, not leaving, but taking a leave of absence, I should say. Or is this a good move, a bad move? Does it matter? Or are we going to be talking about anything pertaining to Jeff Jarrett in the next 2 to 3 months, Kaluka?
The irony is the guy who made TNA is now back in WWE and in the Hall of Fame and now on payroll.
Well,
think about that for a
minute. He's been fired from WWE a couple times since going into the Hall of Fame.
I aim to have Jeff Jarrett's business skills because this motherfucker got 88 lives.
What's used to?
Well, I mean, Jeff Jarrett is being hired as a high executive as opposed to Riddle, who is the executive of getting high. Well, a lot of us know my thoughts on Jeff Jarrett. When he gave me an unusable interview the weekend of his Hall of Fame induction. But, I mean, last night on SmackDown, you had Drew McIntyre doing the strut, I don't know if that was welcoming Jeff Jarrett or taking a pot shot at the oldest person to ever die in the ring.
Well, let's talk about it. It is rumored that Hulk Hogan will be Ric Flair's final opponent in the ring. Me, me and Scooter have been talking about, who would be carrying Ric Flair in a match and who that opponent would be. And now we have Hulk Hogan, who essentially Ric Flair would be carrying him. No?
Well, clearly this match is going to be sponsored by ARP. I mean, like, who fucking thought? Oh, that young up and comer Hulk Hogan. Like, who? Like, what are these fucking people smoking, and where can I get some?
Must be some weed gummies, because I heard some things on fire.
Like, at this point, you might as well try reanimating a corpse of someone. And, back in 97, when Hogan and Piper were main eventing WCW, they were already considered too old by that time. Jim Cornette's infamous, the first 10 rows passed out because of all the oxygen they were sucking up. But I believe free oxygen tanks will be handed out at StarCast.
When did StarCast become an actual wrestling event? It was supposed to be a podcasting thing.
Well, I can tell you this. I could probably, I can see if I can, dig into my, familial source, who is actually some. I believe Mike Johnson has a hand in running it and putting it on. I believe. I know he's had in the past. Is he doing StarCast 5 though? But like, just why?
It's not confirmed. It's just a rumor at this point.
Honestly, I expect this to be a complete fake out.
What say you?
I pray to God it's a tag match. I just kind of, let me get this straight. So Ric Flair, who has been broken, is going to wrestle Hulk Hogan, who is broken. I was hoping it was at least somebody like Ricky Steamboat, because that guy at least aged gracefully and is not as fucked up as everybody else seems to be nowadays. And of course he says no. I'm like, God damn it, Rick. Could have saved us because at least it would have been like, well, shit, Ricky Steamboat. At least he still got it, right? Because he actually walked away, But think about it. It can't be Sting, because Sting is still taking freaking bumps off tables for AEW. So I'm trying to think who would be Ric Flair's like arch nemesis that would actually have to wrestle him, like Arn Anderson with a Glock, or Tully Blanchard,
Alzheimer's,
or his wife. How about his wife? Like a
alimony. James, what did I say?
Yeah. I mean, he's been losing that fight against alimony for what, the past 20 years?
I feel like it's been 50. I feel like it's been 50.
I feel like he started. I think he started paying alimony the moment he was born. Yeah, all the way back in 1865.
Gauntlet match, Ric Flair chopping his ex-wives and shit. Ain't that about a bitch?
Woo! Wabba choo. I mean, maybe they could do. Maybe Ric Flair could finally hit an elbow drop on the Invisible Man. He keeps trying to do.
Yeah, we will see.
I almost expect the match to come with a disclaimer saying, okay, everybody in attendance, when we give you the cues, this is how you're going to respond, because Rick still thinks he can have a decent match, and we're not breaking that illusion for him.
I have an idea.
He could be calling spots in the ring and shit. Like, ain't that? Ric Flair calling spots in the ring and shit. Boy, it's gonna be off the chest. I mean, Jesus. I mean, Terry Funk. Bring Terry Funk's ass out there. Like this. I mean, just go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you bring out Terry Funk, then he's got to break his promise of never doing another moonsault too.
Of
go for the gusto.
We also have to take into account the fact that Flair would be going to this match with several third-degree burns because of the roast.
Shit, he might get third-degree burns because of the ropes. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, this is the first true roast of a professional wrestler.
Did they do a Hulk Hogan roast?
Did Chuckcast do a Hulk Hogan roast?
No, I think it was on Spike TV when that was still a thing.
Like TNA roast sale?
No, it's just like, maybe it was Comedy Central, but I feel like there was definitely a Hulk Hogan.
No, there was no.
There was definitely a picture roast.
Yeah, well, that's. I mean, there's. Yeah, well, that was on Something to Wrestle With.
Sure, that was a Starcast thing that they did.
But in an actual literal like roast, yeah, I mean, there's Wrestle Roast, and that's a podcast. But no, there's Hogan was a guest at David Hasselhoff's Comedy Central roast, though.
Okay. Well.
Oh, he was roasting somebody. He wasn't getting roasted. I mean, Hasselhoff probably got him, but not like in depth.
Well, I just thought of something that it's the opponent that Ric Flair should wrestle. He should wrestle Evil. But not House of Torture Evil. I'm talking about Los Ingobernables Evil. With the robe and the scythe, the Grim Reaper looking motherfucker.
I mean, he might as well wrestle Danhausen.
Oh God, what would that look like?
Oh my! Well, you'd have Danhausen coming out dressed like Ric Flair, or maybe even Charlotte.
Yeah.
We need to poll it. Who should be Ric Flair's final opponent for the 30th time? Because I feel like he's had like 88 final opponents.
Oh God. You know what? Is Mr. T busy?
Oh God, no.
And with that,
I mean, is Snoop Dogg busy?
What what? Get Bob Orton.
Migos?
But not Offset.
Maybe Offset. Offset might help Chief. Break up the Migos because he on that Ric Flair go woo on the bitch.
I mean,
Bad Bunny? El Idolo?
Ric Flair versus a car shield? Ric Flair will establish his new stable, Car Shield.
Sierra,
No.
India, Hotel Lima, Car Shield.
Imagine Ric Flair coming out with a tactical vest like the Shield. What the?
Let's get on to another subject because we could probably be here forever on this one.
Charlie, Alpha, Romeo. or Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, or to bid this segment adieu, Alpha Mike Foxtrot. In other words, adios, motherfucker.
Could be Ric Flair versus Bengay.
Oh,
about 20 years.
Now, Riddle. He has recently got divorced. We haven't covered that on the show. Irrelevancy to the subject. But he has started dating, and his ex-girlfriend, new girlfriend, I have no idea, already has been calling him out on social media saying that he's toxic and perverted. Um, I don't want to get into what Matt Riddle is in his personal life, but could this really affect his wrestling career if he's not more careful? Kaliko.
But as far as cheating, I mean, what people do, as long as, put it like this, when it comes to relationships, it's always something unless it's DV. And we know how they feel about DV. When it comes to like, oh yeah, he cheated on me, blah, 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 it's kind of like, whatever. It's kind of to the side. Because, I mean, what you're going to do, it's not like he's breaking the law, per se, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because people kind of take infidelity as if it's a crime and they should go to jail. And, I mean, shit happens. As long as he's not committing a crime, they're not going to, rope him through the coals for it. Hell, Bray Wyatt was there and he divorced his wife and dated the chick that was working there. So, come on, man.
Sure.
That should tell you how it works.
You're absolutely right about that. What? Any comments about it, Scooter?
Well, if you're asking me if it's going to affect him, the answer is no. But I hear his new girl is throwing shade at his ex-wife, calling her a hoe. I mean, is the world ready for a new RKO? I'm sorry, I had to. I mean, the wife throws this new girl throws shade at the ex-wife. So, yeah, mouthing the words, "I don't care who you had first, you look better with me." I'm like, god damn, Riddle. I mean, throw one my way. I mean, the one you threw my way is all psycho and crazy. Thank you, but no, we won't get into that. I'm not gonna name who that is.
Right.
But I do have a little bit of a personal investment in stuff that's happened in Riddle's past. But I mean, is Riddle this generation's Ric Flair?
That is one to question. That's a good question that I don't think we should
He's
answer right now.
he's got a long way to go for that one, because unless he has like
I didn't mean in wrestling.
50 kids, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Unless he starts having kids, then we can talk. Then
I mean, he does have he's got a daughter.
yeah, I'm talking multiple.
There's a few daughters. But
Really?
maybe
The little Riddles.
maybe some. It seems like there's a lot of issues between Riddle's next and Riddle's ex. If some smart promoter was out there decided to book Riddle's ex versus Riddle's next in a death match, what would be a stipulation of that match, Scooter?
Winner gets to know the location of Riddle's secret stash.
No, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of our memes.
They get a pineapple on pizza.
Specifically to Jules Malone.
Oh, God!
I tee you up and you kill me.
The loser gets her vagina stapled shut.
Thank you.
Maybe it should be a castration match. or maybe the winner gets to cut off one of Riddle's balls. Why not go there?
Now you just gone too far, man. We're just doing the bits.
Keep little Riddle in his pants.
Alright guys. I'm just gonna say something and yes, no, bullshit. It's been it's rumored that Sasha Banks and Naomi are not being paid during their time at being suspended. Bullshit, not bullshit, Kalika. Oh, I think we lost Kalika.
I'm about to figure out. I'm trying to think of where to start on that, because there's a lot of things that I kind of want to go into with that, and somewhat it's considered a little bit in the racial side. So allow me to cook on this one for a hot minute, because Sasha just basically screwed over Naomi, because Naomi stuck with the sisterhood and it fucked her over. And to me, I hate that, because of the simple fact that Naomi now is associated with how Sasha Banks is, even though Naomi is not of that character, or it's totally out of pocket for her to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now the stigma is there for her, even though it's almost like they're treating her as a multiple offender, even though this is a first offense. Because everybody kind of felt like, okay, Sasha, this is par for the course, right?
Right.
I think Naomi was the one where it fucked her over, and I could easily see Sasha Banks, and don't get me wrong, I love her in the ring, but this is, I think, where her personality comes out, where, oh my God, we black women and they treat us like shit and da da da. And Naomi, who literally has been like Naomi was literally like the unsung hero, where everyone still loves her, even though like they do her dirty. and she still stuck through with it, and now she's paying the ultimate price for something that really is more of a Sasha issue, and I hate that. I really, really hate that.
Right. It's kind of guilty of association.
And plus, that's just because because I can easily see Sasha Banks, and that's a lot of things with like ladies and black women in particular. And I hate to say that, but they kind of do this whole sisterhood thing where it's like we're in it together. When Naomi got pockets, but her pockets ain't as deep as Sasha's pockets. Does it make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it fucks her over. Because now it's fucking with her pockets, which is fucking with Jimmy's pockets, which is fucking with their family's pockets. Because they got kids. Even though, like, Naomi doesn't have a biological kid with Jimmy, but Jimmy has kids. So by essence, her fucking up her pockets is fucking up Jimmy's pockets, which is fucking up the kids' pockets. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I got
Yeah.
you.
And that's where I have the problem.
But it's bullshit that they're not getting
Yeah.
paid during this
Yeah.
time.
No. Yeah. They're getting paid. There's always a downside uh guarantee for when someone, you know, the absolute minimum they'll get paid.
Right.
They won't see any residuals from merch.
Off the merchandise.
I Here's the thing though. I honestly think that the WWE is smart enough to discern that Sasha's attitude is not Naomi's attitude.
Yeah.
And
It's just a guilty by association. And if
Right, but
they didn't give Naomi the same treatment that they gave Sasha, then it would be a double standard.
right, but
yeah.
it's their fault that she's even in that situation because they're the ones who went up to them and was like, "Hey, go be a tag team."
Right.
So by essence, her playing the good soldier is now biting her in the ass in the essence of the association.
I mean, that's not playing the good soldier. That's playing the good rebel. Not even a good rebel. I mean, playing the good soldier is being, I don't know her.
I don't
Bullshit.
go here.
Because I can see like so I can see Naomi like if you don't walk out of here, I'm gonna beat your ass on the way out of here.
Like,
Because they travel together, right? Come on, come on.
I mean, if Sasha is really like banking on her role in the Mandalorian, I mean,
It wasn't that big of a role.
exactly. That's my point.
It's not the fact that it's that big of a role. It's just the fact that
It's an option.
when you think of popularity wise, Naomi pales in comparison to her, just off of Mandalorian.
Sure. Now we know what Sasha would do, what she did. We know what Naomi does or did. It begs the question: what would Gigi do for a pair of shoes?
That's still a thing. Okay, that's the go.
Oh, you haven't seen the numerous tweets of mine to Gigi's asking, "Girl, where did you get those shoes? What did you do to get those shoes?"
Oh God, no!
There will be a song sooner rather than later.
Well, we might get a restraining order, one or the other, but it's good.
Well, Will Ospreay recently did an interview, and he said that uh, wrestlers that compete for WWE are not wrestlers but actors. Scooter, your thoughts.
Like, seriously, like, oh God, you know, talent can only take you so far.
And God knows, Will Ospreay don't got a lot of it.
And then people realize that you're a complete asshole.
I think
Not him.
I think that's been noted a long time ago about Will Ospreay.
I mean, you know, when your last name is some sort of friggin' animal thing. What the hell is an osprey anyway? I think it's, what is it, like a otter or a...
It's like a pelican. It's a large bird, for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right, it's a bird. A seahawk, a river hawk. It's also quite good on toast. In fact, you know what? This weekend, I'm gonna go out and shoot a few. I'm gonna go hunting. I am gonna go hunting, and you know what? I'm not gonna use weapons. I am going to leap up into the sky, use the wings that God gave me, and I'm gonna grab me some ospreys, and I'll be like, stop taking the piss out of wrestling!
Look what Will Ospreay made Scooter Duster. Call PETA on this man. Call PETA before he is
Call PETA. Okay, PETA.
Before
PETA what?
we might have to call WWF. The other one with the panda. Before Scooter endangers these rail boards.
Words with friends?
That begs the question, Kaliko, go Bulldogs.
Okay. Go Bulldogs.
What I hate about that statement, because in essence, you might as well say you're blanketing everyone that's been through WWE is just an actor. So was William Regal an actor? Was Daniel Bryan an actor? Was Haku an actor?
No, I think legitimately he fit that guy's face off.
Would Rick Rude be considered an actor? So like I hate when they say that because in essence I get and this is the problem that I have in wrestling in general because I see he's talking about okay, it's just acting, but the problem is the people that are nostalgia to the wrestling are nostalgia to the people who are played characters. That's the reason why they always go back to Honky Tonk Man, Rock, Austin, fucking Hogan, the Mountain for crying out loud. Like it's because of the part that they played and the fact that they played it so well. Because wrestling, yes, the spots will get you there. The spots will tell you, okay, yeah, that's a hell of a spot. But no one's gonna remember the spot if you're not invested in the character. Prime example, super kick, right?
Yep.
Super kick. Everybody got a goddamn super kick. Everybody does a damn super kick. But who's the one super kick that they actually care about?
The one that, I don't want to say he invented it, but he made it famous for sure, Shawn Michaels.
Thank you. So, but why?
Because
why? What?
He made it matter.
Because of the warm up.
Because of the warm up. Because of the fact that no, because they're invested in the character. That's my point. A bunch of diamond cutters, stunners, RKOs, but Randy Orton's RKO matters more to people because it's the person who's doing it.
Right.
Everybody could do a RKO, but only people will care if Randy does it because they are invested in the person.
Right.
And that's the problem with wrestling today. Like I get it. Everybody wants to have a good move set and a great match, and I get it. But what story are you telling that wants to keep people involved with you as a character pre and post match is the biggest issue of all. Now, granted, WWE has its fucking shortcomings, and I am the one to say it. But the one thing that they do great is they make characters matter, whether you love them or you hate.
Oh, yeah. Just one more opinion that we haven't got. Portia, what's your thoughts?
Is Persia falling off a cliff?
She was just flying towards me. Good girl, Portia. Alright, one last thing. This was a very WWE heavy news day. A new word has been banned on WWE programming. It's no longer being attacked, it is being assaulted.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, no. Let's name it after the actual, word that's used in legal terms. Attacking someone is technically not a crime. Assaulting someone very much is. Not to mention the numerous actions that are associated with assault that is considered assault. You brush by somebody accidentally. Oh, they assaulted you. I mean, that makes about as much sense as saying, oh, it's not assault, it's a pepper.
Rico, your thoughts?
I'm just waiting on first 48 WWE edition because that's what I feel like is going to happen. Somebody laid out and he was assaulted at 9:55 p.m.
He was
Like
taken
that's
to the local medical facility.
you know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting. I mean, I get it. I don't know. It kind of is weird because it coincides with the guy or what was happening in Texas, and everyone kind of used the word attack. And I get what. It's just that sometimes you can't be worried about how it comes out unless you're not comfortable with the context you're using it in. And that to me is the biggest issue.
Yeah, and yes. And the thing is that usually in these cases, when this comes down, it's only one person's context that is defining this.
Right.
I mean, that, like a couple of years ago, Apollo Crews, they made him drop Crews because the name was similar to somebody that did atrocious things. And it's not
Tom Cruise.
the
Terry
I mean,
Crews?
Tom Cruise is assaulting us right now with this movie, but I don't, just because somebody sells the same verbiage or the same name as somebody, it doesn't mean that it's in the same context, like you were saying. And it's just something WWE has, for some reason, always done.
They're not. I, 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 I can't remember. Are they titles or belts?
Their titles.
Well, see, my problem with the word not going with going dealing with assault is that usually when you assault somebody, it's never from behind. Nah, because attacking is mad aggressive. You plan an attack, you don't plan an assault.
Well, if you were, Kaliko, you being a military man, I think, would understand, the concept of planning an assault.
Yeah, true. But my point is this: is that
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. You, you, you don't assault from all angles. You attack from all angles.
exactly. And my point is, when it comes to war or even military, that is a declaration that's already been there. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's my point.
I mean, especially these days, you bring up assault. You know, what? What's the first thing people are going to think? Oh, sexual assault.
Yeah. And then it's gonna get into where, well, if he assaulted him, why didn't he just take him to court?
Wrestler's court. Duh, duh, duh. Wrestler's court.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because usually when someone attacks you, that attack sounds more in the sense of a person wants to retaliate back. You attacked me, so I'm gonna fuck you up, type of deal.
Right. There's a
No
lot
one
of
goes, you assaulted me, so I'm gonna fuck you up. They will go, you assaulted me, I'm calling the authorities. Does that make sense?
yes.
I mean, unless we see, like, the use of, like, Sibians and, giant purple dildos. I mean,
Is there barbed wire on these dildos?
only in tattoo form.
Okay. I think that will conclude our news portion for this week. And now, quick word from our sponsors.
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0 calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with AEW Double or Nothing 2022. It's tomorrow, I believe. And they're actually going to be in the arena that they originally planned to be on. So, good for them. A lot of matches are announced. It's going to take us a little while to get through them all, but from a glance, your thoughts on the card so far, Scooter?
Um, it's an interesting card. Um, yeah, a couple of there's one dream match that actually might be a nightmare match now. But you know, I'm really wondering if I should. If I had to choose between Double or Nothing, I choose Nothing.
A lot of people have been saying that as of late.
But this is the subtitle. I think really should be for this. AEW Double or Nothing Wrestling Sloppy Seconds, parentheses thirds.
And what say you, Kaliko?
It's interesting because am I the only one? And maybe because I've been literally in a mattress for the last month, but the buzz doesn't seem to be there as it was last year.
Right. I feel like last year because it had more buzz because it was one of the first events back with a packed house.
But my point is that even when SummerSlam was like that, last year SummerSlam the buzz really wasn't there. There was more of a buzz when Punk came out last year, and I don't know if that's just because I'm just trying to gauge the temperature, but it doesn't seem like maybe because I'm just out of the wrestling lexicon, but it just didn't seem like a lot of people are like, oh my god, I can't wait to go to Vegas for Double or Nothing. It's few and far between, like how it used to be.
Well, there's 13 matches, including the pre-show, and
Jesus Christ.
it just seems like it's get everybody on the card. Well,
That'll do it. Get everybody on the card.
Inclusion Mania is running wild.
Inclusion Mania is
You go from WTF Mania to Inclusion Mania.
Let's get into it. This will be on the pre-show, the buy-in, as it's called. Hook and Danhausen versus Tony Nese and Smart Mark Scooter.
Major Pod cheated.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Kaliko?
Oh man. I'm trying to think how Hookhausen even became a thing. I know Danhausen was fucking with him over a bag of chips, and that's
They shoved the bag of chips.
Jesus Christ. That's what we're at with wrestling. They're a tag team because they shared a bag of chips.
Yep.
Oh, well, I guess it's fucking Hookhausen then, because the bag of chips must have been fucking laced.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here, and we're not gonna get Danhausen. We're gonna get Dan Tazin.
Let's do something interesting here. Scooter, how many stars do you think this match will be?
How many stars do I think this match would be? It would be very nice, very evil. And then we will go to the asteroid. Yes, with my good friend Billy Ass. As for stars, Danhausen can't count that high.
Kaliko?
I'm gonna go 2.5 to 3. Because you remember when Hook was the flavor of the month? Yeah, I remember that too.
I see this is going to be a 1-star match. Obviously,
well, it's gonna be a 5. It's gonna be a 5-star match to anybody who don't like WWE. They're gonna think it's the greatest goddamn thing since sliced bread.
Sliced bread being invented in 1927.
Exactly. It's gonna be greatest thing since colored TV. Like shit.
Speaking of sliced bread, the TBS title match, Jade Cargill versus Anna Jane. Honestly, this could have been more interesting if they didn't just announce it a week ago and have literally no build up, because there could have been a story to tell, but they just decided to say Jay doesn't have a match on the card, so let's just give her Anna. Your thoughts, Scooter.
Uh, it's the thing about having a secondary women's singles championship in a in a promotion where the women's division is not exactly seen as being able to carry its own weight if it were to be separately booked, has all sorts of implications as, oh, this woman's not good enough to be the main woman we want representing us. Let's make her the secondary woman. Oh, it's all that bull crap. Now, don't get me wrong. I've grown to actually really love Jade Cargill as a character. Uh, you know, she's she's not the she's not the typical archetype. She's strong. She's got the muscles to back it up. The the question is that which women's title does AEW really give priority to
It doesn't seem like
anymore?
either of them, considering that Thunder Rosa only had, since winning the championship, 11 minutes of airtime on Dynamite and Rampage.
Eh,
Who wins?
well, clearly Jade.
Kaliko?
Jade. And I get funny how that division all of a sudden is not as deep when, two minorities are the champion, but we're not gonna go there.
You know, I'm gonna go off the cuff here and say Anna actually wins.
Yeah, they're not blowing Jade's streak on NJ.
We will see. But how many stars do you think this match is going to be?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm expecting it to be a squash. So, two.
Kaliko?
Uh, two.
I I think that if it's done right and it's at a good part of the card between something, this has the potential to be a 2-star match. Oh, let's get into the next match. We got the House of Black, Malachi, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King versus Death Triangle, the Boston Pac, Penta Escuro, and Ray Felix. Scooter, who wins?
The question is, will Alexa Bliss's stalker show up to help defend Buddy Matthews? Uh, uh, you know, you know, Pac and Black have clear history before AEW, before WWE even. I like that they're throwing it back. I kind of hate that the Lucha Bros are shoehorned into a 6-man tag. Honestly, you probably could have just left this to Pac and Black.
Black Pack.
Yeah, and make it some sort of gimmick. And let the Lucha Bros get involved, but they don't take an implicit loss. Because quite honestly, AEW seems to be building the House of Black, and
Are they there?
odds are they're gonna get another member.
We're gonna finally get that Julia Hart heel turn that everybody's been clamoring about.
Who?
Julia Hart.
Who?
Not an owl. Julia Hart. But I do have a parrot, as everybody knows. Say hello, Closer. There you go. Go ahead, Scooter. Shut up, Closer.
What? Yeah, House of Black wins.
Go, Lico.
Black, right? Because, I mean, what if Pac joins Black?
Ooh.
Then it'd be the Black Pack.
But then
With no black person.
But if Pac joins Black, who picks up the slack?
Willie Mack.
Ooh. I like Willie. Willie's a cool guy. So, with, you said House of Black, Lico?
Black, yep.
Well, I mean, it has to be House of Black. They're the only casino type of gimmick that AEW has at their only casino themed pay-per-view. Well, not their only, but one of them. Because you always bet on Black. And the house
always wins.
Yeah.
But don't be like Wesley Snipes and pay your taxes.
Wait, are you saying don't pay your taxes?
Pay your taxes.
Context!
It's king.
Please don't assault my words.
Not both.
Yeah, he's your pepper.
Alright, next match. We got,
Brody
the
King your
Hardys
face.
versus the Young Bucks. Or as they're now known as,
The
Middle-aged
not-so-young
and Extreme versus, the Middle-aged Bucks.
I feel like it should be like the Hardys versus the Nuck If You Bucks.
So?
Well, the clear winner is anybody who holds stock in Rogaine.
Yeah?
I mean, the dream match of the two two teams that open the doors for the King of the Ring entrance, or dressed up like DX.
I mean, it would have been a dream match if Ring of Honor hadn't done it maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
But I mean, we've seen the match. They did a ladder match together. I mean, it's been done. So, yeah, it's cool to see, but it's not exactly dream match territory.
I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see the Young Bucks take the Hardy route and say they want to fight the Hardys at the Jackson family compound. And it turns out to be Neverland Ranch. God.
Well, I mean, they already got Gangrel, and so
And then they could bring in Jermaine.
is Viscera still around? No, I don't think so. He passed away, right?
Who, Jermaine Jackson?
Viscera, Big Daddy V.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Viscera's gone, but I thought you meant Jermaine Jackson. Like he's still freaking something.
I mean, we got Christian. He could be a vampire again.
Or they could go with that Jewish vampire. You know what they call him?
What would that be?
Sidney Applebaum.
Okay.
Well, what about the vampire that Eddie Murphy played in Vampire in Brooklyn?
Give me Julius Jones.
What?
Only because I actually, growing up, when I played Little League, I actually had a teammate whose actual name was Julius Jones.
Nostalgia.
Who wins the match, though?
You know what? I'm gonna call. If they give it a time limit, I think they're gonna attempt to go to the time limit.
Screw out the match. The show, it's a 4-hour show with 13 matches. How the fuck are they gonna go half hour?
You'd be surprised. It's AEW. They don't care about time.
And it would be a 20-minute time limit.
When's the last time AEW did a 20-minute time limit? I mean,
All the matches on Dynamite are 20 minutes aside from the main event.
Are they?
Yep.
Yeah, which is what, like half an hour?
That's 10 minutes minus.
With TV time remaining, like the old days.
I think you should say yes.
So you know what? I'm either calling time limit draw or no contest.
Kalika, what say you?
Let me see. The Bucks, because they always go over on every tag team at least once. They're like the Zack Sabre Jr. tag team division.
Very true.
Damn! Oh, they always get that one.
That's very true, but I think this might be going to the Hardys because I don't think this is a one-off. I think this is continuing. And, the Bucks will get their, revenge. As they always do. Hey, Anarchy in the Arena match. Chris Jericho Appreciation Society, Chris Jericho, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, Daniel Garcia, and J.K. Gore versus Eddie Kingston, Santana Ortiz in the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, and Jon Moxley. Scooter, who wins?
What is Anarchy in the Arena anyway?
It's Anarchy in the Arena. Does it need to be more explained?
I mean, when it's a friggin' 12-man tag.
10-man tag.
Oh crap, Wheeler Yuta's not in it. That's right.
In Japan, probably.
Okay, have they explained how victory will be achieved? I don't know. My question is, do they consider female fans of the Jericho Appreciation Society Joss Queens?
Joss Queens, yeah.
That being said,
Oh, God.
I mean, Kingston and company, the piss drinkers go over the piss takers.
Here we go.
I'm trying to figure out where the fuck did the Jericho Appreciation Society begin and the Inner Circle end? Because or has it never ended?
It ended. When Santana Ortiz split off, and Sammy left first.
So it was like in sync. So Timberlake left first, and then Chaz, and then Joey, and okay.
Wait, Chaz.
Chaz.
JC. JC Chazé.
Chazé. Am I right on this? I'm trying to.
Then Lance Bass. Lance Bass did
Bass went to space.
No, Lance Bass did a movie before Timberlake ever did a movie.
True.
But if you've seen a movie in the woods,
my father was a limo driver for the premiere of that movie.
Word.
Yep,
on the woods.
On the line. I still got I remember all the stuff I got in the goodie bag they gave out. Like they gave out like an MP3 player.
Was it one of those ones that actually had the goddamn Zune? Was it a Zune?
No. It was its own little thing. You actually it could contain up to I think like 100 songs. Actually no, maybe like 50. You would have to put it on it directly, and then it had connected to a thing that you could wear it around your neck, and it had this little LCD like dancing dude screensaver type thing. A pixel guy like just like dancing on it.
Are you sure it wasn't a Tamagotchi?
No, that was not Tamagotchi. No, that was not Tamagotchi. I used to also have an MP3 player.
A Digimon?
I also used to have an MP3 player that all it required was a USB drive. You just plug it into the thing and put your headphones in, and boom.
Oh, was it like the Sony joint?
No, it looked like 3/4 of an egg. Or oval, I should say. But
go. Who wins the match?
Hey man, we talking about you don't know, man. You don't know the struggles we had to do just to get fucking Guilty Conscience by Eminem. But anywho,
I'm downloading it right now.
So it would have to be Santana and Ortiz's crew, right? Because if they're the ones that left, they have to be they have to win and show that they are better off on their own instead of having like the Jericho Appreciation Society, which kind of sounds vain. It's like Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, like, or my man from the Temptations. It's like Jericho could be like, ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, type deal. And I think it's got to be the other group, right?
Why is Otis in AEW
now? Better off than being with Tony Nese.
Shoes.
No, I think you're right. But Jericho Appreciation Society. Anybody that isn't Chris Jericho is not gaining from being a part of this group. Personally, my thoughts. next match up, MJF versus Warlow. If Warlow wins, he is freed from MJF's contract and free to sign an AEW contract if Tony Khan wants to give him one. Who wins, Scooter?
Clearly, I mean, since Wardlow is not, an executive who gets to make his own booking decisions, it will be Wardlow.
Kaliko?
I'll tell you to the day I die. MJF is good talking, and then the bell rings. And it always goes against him. So I'm going to go with Wardlow.
God, that's like my ex-wife used to say. Oh, I thought you were so good looking, and then you opened your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it usually goes.
You know what I'd like to see? Warlow actually win the match. And I do think he's gonna win. And then Tony Khan doesn't hire him. He doesn't give him a contract.
Cue sad Wardlow. Crying Wardlow. New meme.
We got Billy Corgan comes out and offers him a contract to NWA.
And Wardlow's like, no!
Then Vince McMahon comes out with a contract to WWE.
And Wardlow's like, double no!
And MJF says, what the hell? And he gives him the finger and says, next time, pal. That'd be interesting.
Or Vince shows up, gives MJF the keys, and tells him to bring the car around.
Women's Owen Hart Tournament Final. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Ruby Soho. Who wins? Scooter.
Well, first of all, can we all appreciate what Owen Hart has done for women? Exactly. As much as I appreciate the tribute to Owen Hart, this has always seemed to me so much worse than anything the WWE could do. Because this is literally Martha Hart being a hypocrite. That being said, the road they took to get to this got really squiffy. Like, it went like, first Ruby lost, and now she's back in, and like somewhere along, I think the quarterfinals changed too, and like, but Britt Baker's no longer the champion. This is Ruby's night.
Really?
Yep.
What say you, Kaliko?
I agree. Ruby needs it more than Britt. Britt's dead. So, I mean, unless they're just using that as an excuse for Britt to go after one of the other title against Jade. But even then, that would look like a downgrade for her.
See,
so it would have to be Ruby, right?
Yeah. The other thing is, I think if Britt ends up winning, we know who's winning the men's.
I don't think that's for sure. But the one thing I will say about the match was when Ruby won the qualification match to face Britt against Chris Statlander, the crowd was not happy. They were booing Ruby. And it just seems like we would get more of that if Britt doesn't go over in this match, which
I
is
mean,
interesting to see if we're going to see a Ruby heel turn soon.
But it wasn't the fact that Ruby won the match; it was the fact that they beat Chris.
Right.
And
And she had a great
Chris,
promo before the match.
right? It's because of Chris. It wasn't because of Ruby. To me. But
they were booing. They were saying booby. Or Rue Beaver. Yeah, but you know what? I mean, when you're doing something like this, do you really want the first winner to be a heel?
I mean, either way, it's gonna be that way because of the fact that Britt's a heel, but she's a cool heel, and Ruby, they probably paying her a WWE check, even though she got more time in the Indies than WWE.
I mean, plus the fact that AEW is using all this footage of Owen that very few people outside of Calgary are familiar with.
It's the only footage they could get, Sweeto. WWE owns the majority of all pro wrestling libraries.
Yeah, and that's again one of my reasons that this should not have been. That Owen's name shouldn't have been attached to this.
A thing, yeah.
So, we got 2 rubies, and I'm a DMD. Because I don't think that they're not going to give the face of the women's division the title. Alright, and that brings us to the men's Owen Hart's tournament final. Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole Baby. Surprisingly, no Canadians in the finals. 2 Americans. Scooter.
Yeah, Canadian tournament with 2 Americans.
I mean, I don't know if AEW is planning on bringing Brett in to celebrate the anniversary, like when he brought out the title. Here I can see Adam Cole going over.
Adam Cole is 100% a heel. I mean, Britt Baker is, she's heel but people like her. Adam Cole, there's no 2 ways about it, she's heel. You know what I mean?
But Adam Cole, in addition to having, the exact same number of letters in his name, which has nothing to do with anything, is probably the most Owen Hart-esque superstar since Owen Hart.
Okay, I get that. So going with Adam Cole, baby. Yes.
Yes, Adam Cole, Bay.
What say you, Kaligo?
My mind's telling me Joe, but my body say baby. I'm confused. I'm gonna go. It's got to be Cole because for some odd reason, I guess Cole. It's kind of felt like Cole should have beat Hangman, but he didn't, and this is kind of like the consolation.
You get that? That actually makes sense. But I think it's gonna be Cole, and there's going to be interference from Jay Leto, Satnam Singh, and the other one.
But they're barred from ringside.
Are they?
Yep.
Maybe they'll drop a wrench from the raft. The raft
Oh.
or something.
Dude.
But Joe is still the ROH champ, right?
Television champ.
One of them belts. Shit, you know what the hell I meant.
James, come on, man. Dropping a wrench from the rafters. Jesus.
I mean,
Yeah, I thought I was bad. Like,
I mean, Joe Kimberly did that in Kino.
yes, but it wasn't in, it wasn't under the guise of a tribute to Owen Hart.
Oh,
Maybe Jay Lethal will come in and black my teeth.
You're bad, James.
Yeah,
I will.
yeah, you're bad.
I will retract
You're
that.
bad. Jesus Christ, help us, Lord. I told you reservations for 3 in hell, and we're there.
Yes, I did not mean that, and I apologize to anybody.
Send all your hate mail to I am James.
You don't even know my handle, damn it.
James J993.
Or send your hate mail to that guy. How about that?
Alright, all three Adam Cole, Brawl and Adam Cole camp.
Yes.
Team Cole. Bang bang.
Next match, AEW Tag Team titles on the line. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Team Taz, Ricky Starks, and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Who wins? Scooter.
I'm actually a little conflicted here, but I want to say Jurassic Express retains, but I'm really thinking they're gonna put it on Lee and Strickland.
What say you, Felipe?
Not the black people, so Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus retain.
And I'm going with Team Taz. I think they're going to go with
Ricky Starks and Butch Reed?
Yeah. You know he invented Netflix, right?
Reed Hastings, and I can't believe I know that.
Why do you know that?
Because I used to host a trivia show.
Well, yeah. Hobbs and Starks wins.
You know what? After this, Ricky should change his name to Calvin Starks.
Okay.
So we can get Calvin and Hobbs.
Well, we could have what is his name? He could change his name to Shaw, so we could have Hobbs and Shaw.
And have Hobbs and Shaw. I knew you were
Calvin Shaw.
Why are you on?
And you can play both of those, Calvin and Hobbs and Shaw.
And he instead of the FTW title, he has a stuffed tiger.
That somehow comes to life.
Yes, and somebody dresses up in a tiger mascot suit.
Oh my God! Bring Tiger Mask. There's a joint union this year with AEW and New Japan.
Oh, and we could use a Tiger Driver 22.
Yeah. Alright, let's get into the next match. Darby Allin versus Kyle O'Reilly. Who wins?
Ooh. Oh, are you not looking at the Wikipedia listing?
The
Or
what? No.
because there's okay, my list has the women's title match after the tag title match. But
Well, I mean, I feel like that match is a little bit more important than Darby and Kyle O'Reilly.
yes, it's also a lot more easier to call. Also, O'Reilly and Darby, why?
Because O'Reilly broke Sting's leg that won't allow him to make it to Vegas for traveling. Even though he could literally have one of his kids or his wife drive him to Vegas because he lives in California.
Sting don't drive anywhere, man.
This is what I'm saying. Have his wife or kid drive him.
I don't know who to fucking pick here. I mean, like, Bobby Fish wins. How about that? Maybe Cora Jade wins.
How did Cora Jade get there? Oh, yeah. I know.
Oh, I love it when you realize something, James. O'Reilly. O'Reilly for the win.
Kaliko.
O'Reilly. Remember when Darby was supposed to be like the next guy?
He's definitely a guy that's there.
I mean, like he was the guy. The TNT champion was supposed to propel him to something else, and it didn't.
Nope. Now he's avenging Sting. And that's why I think he's gonna win.
Avenge Sting. One word.
Avenge
Hashtag.
Sting.
And now a word from our sponsor, O'Reilly Automotive Parts.
Yes, O'Reilly Auto Square.
Oh, O'Reilly Automotive Parts.
Oh, I'm pissed at O'Reilly. There ain't nobody military discounts on the antifreeze, and I call that bullshit.
Well, but there are plenty of discounts on the Uncle Freeze.
Kaliko, what are your thoughts on O'Reilly parts?
What, the match itself? Because it ain't a squash, but
No. What are your thoughts on O'Reilly Automotive Parts stores?
fuck O'Reilly's auto parts stores. Not to be confused with O'Reilly the wrestler. They're on my list with Yoshihashi.
Oh, really? No, O'Reilly.
Yeah. Alright, next match. AEW Women's title match. Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb.
Thunder Rosa next.
Kaliko?
Yeah, just don't even. Yeah. I think he spoke for the tribe on that one.
Alright, well, let's just do this. Kaliko, what's your favorite vegetable?
Squash! This is fucking squash! I mean, it's not gonna be a squash because they're gonna make it look like, Serena's a formidable opponent. However, they gotta make up all that lack of time Thunder Rosa didn't get as champion. Now, granted, she's been running around on the gram and busted open and doing the most since she won the title, so I guess that's good as far as, like, as an ambassador, but fighting champion, let's go, Thunder Rosa. But that's what I expect from an anteater. If she went to San Diego State, that would have been a whole different.
Next match. And we're being joined by Doggy Ellen. Sammy for Frankie Kazarian and Tay Conti versus Scorpio Sky, Eden Page, and Paige Van Sant. If Guevara loses, and Kazarian, they cannot compete for the TNT Championship ever again, ever. Who wins, Scooter?
Well, wherever Kazarian is, I won't be.
There you go.
Yeah, because, I'll be in the back for those, 15 minutes, getting it on with his wife! That being said, clearly Kazarian's going to turn.
I mean, he already did turn. It was the turn that nobody literally saw, but it happened.
I mean, is a handshake a turn, really?
But, so you're going with Guevara and company?
Yes, and then Kazarian to turn, yes.
What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, I think it's going to be Sammy because I don't think they're going to do the thing that they did with Cody in the sense of actually having someone lose and not be able to go after a title. Because unless they think Sammy's going to be the guy to win the title one day, the AEW title, but I don't see it yet. So till then, the TNT division is where she shall stay.
Okay, so this is how I'm going to look at this match. Paige Van Sant will pin Tay Conti, and then they will say that for a technicality that they didn't technically lose the match, that Tay lost the match, meaning that they don't need to never challenge for a championship ever again.
Man, fuck that. That's too much complication.
It's called the
Fucking lost the
technicality.
match. They lost the match. Ain't no damn technicality because eventually it's gonna say XXX team loses to XXX team.
I mean, this is Paige Van Sant's first match, correct? In WWE, in AEW.
Well, I mean, on pay-per-view, she has had, a few Dark and Dark Elevation matches.
Has she?
But it's a fucking UFC fucking badass motherfucker who could probably legit whoop everybody ass in that bitch.
With a good OnlyFans page.
Oh yeah, mad legit. You didn't hear that from me though.
You know a guy that has it.
Yeah, I know a guy or
Yeah,
two.
me.
See, there you go.
So,
Let me check Tony's.
so two Sammy Guevara specials, one Paige Van Sant W.
Two Sammy Guevara specials hold the jizz.
I hate that you went there.
Oh, really? Really, Mr. Goodwrench?
Well, if it came from O'Reilly parts, the last match, the main event, the thing everybody wants to see, AEW World Title match, Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk. Who wins, Scooter?
Oh, man. You know what? No question. Adam Page.
Is there a question, Kaliko?
His reign has been lackluster. The era of Punk begins. They didn't give him all that money just to fucking be on the sideline. Era of Punk begins.
Well, I kind of feel like Paige's title run has been peaks and valleys, hills and valleys, or whatever the fuck it's called. He's had wins on big names. He's had good matches, but it's what happens in between that just kills him. That there's literally no Hangman Page until he goes into the ring, and anything that he does inside the ring, it just everything that he does between these title matches is kind of brushed under the rug, so to speak.
Well, let this be Exhibit A of why Will Ospreay is wrong, because we have a champion and who is really, 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 really invested in the character.
True.
Even though Hangman Page can go in the ring. But everyone knows who CM Punk is, and God knows he's only wrestled like a handful of matches in 10 years, damn near.
If Punk does get a W here, could that mean that we're getting Okada Punk at Forbidden Door?
It would have to be, because Okada, as long as like Hangman, he ain't on Okada love.
No. I could even make the argument Punk isn't even on an Okada level.
Not this Punk.
Well, on a physical standpoint. I My heart's telling me Hangman Page, but my brain is telling me Punk. And I think if Page actually loses this match, did he have a valid run, or was it he only held the belt to hold it until Punk needed it, or Punk was ready for it?
I don't know.
Huh? Well, just to pick a name, I feel like Page needs to have the win here. Alright, I believe that will conclude our coverage of AEW Double or Nothing. Join us next week as we do a review of the whole show, 13 matches, and a preview of WWE Hell in a Cell, because it is it's next week, right?
Yep.
Yep. How should you listen to Hell in a Cell?
Well, clearly you should tune into the remix on YouTube, the first premium audio companion experience cast on the web.
Yep, and you should definitely watch AEW Double or Nothing, because it's in a few hours now, because it took us so long because there's so many fucking matches on this card. We are on Sunday now.
In fact, by the time this airs, it'll Double or Nothing will be over, so so it won't matter in the slightest.
If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Wednesday as we interview the one, Sean Moore. Of course, the week after that, Anna Diaz and Zoe Sagar, Tuesday and Wednesday of June 7th, June 8th. Catch that. The 15th, we got Mike Gamble, and the 22nd, Jack Collins. Joined, of course, you can follow everything Wrestling with Entertainment at Wrestling with E, both on Twitter and Instagram for updates on new interviews, when they're coming out, links, all that good shit, and more. You can follow us individually as well. I'm at JamesJ993. You can. Actually, you're here. Where can they find Kaliko?
You can find me trying to pitch my album idea to LL Cool J and I Am Kaliko.
And where can they find Scooter?
Of course, as always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDoes, hashtag Major Pod Cheated. And of course, find me and James hosting the YouTube on Remix, once again, a premium audio companion experience cast for alternate commentary with Hell of a Sal. And of course, revel in all my Twitch antics as I become the Dusty Dragon along with Rico Constantino Jr., twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
Is that official?
Well, you didn't hear it from me. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Alright. For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
O'Reilly's, give me my goddamn discount on the goddamn antifreeze. It's just antifreeze, damn it.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.